Hello everyone, welcome to the Slip Cordon. And as we know, we are also now covering the FIFA World Cup 2026. And I hope all the football fans are enjoying the coverage so far. We have covered a lot on the recent matches. We have talked a lot about who the real GOAT is, whether it is Messi or Ronaldo. And now with how the knockouts are lined up, we might even actually see a Portugal versus Argentina final for this tournament. So yeah, welcome everyone. So yeah, let's get started with the round of 32 discussion.
Yeah, I feel that the highlight for me, Karthik, would be that 9 out of 10 African nations have qualified. That's a big highlight because a lot of people were not trusting African nations to do well, but it's good
Mhm.
to see them do well on the world stage. Starting off, it'll be South Africa taking on Canada. Again, they're facing each other for the first time, I believe. They've made it so far. I'll just edge it to South Africa, maybe, given their defensive abilities, but it'll be an interesting game. The most interesting games will happen in the second day, Brazil versus Japan. I want to know your thoughts. How do you see them compete against each other?
So with Brazil versus Japan, I think it's a very challenging and stimulating match because Japan is such a very well organized team with the right kind of tactics when depending on what the situation calls for, and Brazil is more of a team which is managed very well by Ancelotti. And there's a lot of dependence on what the players should be doing, and there's a lot of decision making in which is taken care of by players itself. But Japan is a very template system sort of a team where there is a way to play, where there is a way to react. And with Brazil, it's more depending on how the players deal with situations. So it's not only is it a Latin America versus Asia powerhouse match, it's a very system versus player driven match. So it's a very interesting challenge. And in today's world, when we are seeing more systems evolved thanks to Guardiola and his followers, I would say, I think it's an interesting match for sure. And my
But I'm
favorite,
expecting
yeah,
Vinicius Junior to score. Are you expecting him to
I,
score?
I would not count on him to not score. I think he will definitely score because these are games, where individuals have to stand up, and Vinicius is the kind of person who you would want to depend on. And although I expect him to score, I'm hoping Japan goes through, but I don't think my heart says Japan and brain says Brazil. So that's how the situation is right now. What about you? What do you think?
I just feel that I'll give the edge to Brazil given the star power that they have. Even their
Yeah.
defensive abilities, they are really good. So I hope that they make it through. Another interesting game would be Netherlands taking on Morocco. I feel
Mhm.
both are evenly matched. I'll just give Morocco the upper hand in this one, given
Oh,
that Hakimi and the rest of the players are doing well. I forgot the name of the striker. His name is Sabr or some. He's been signed by Bayern Munich very recently. He's been doing well in
yeah,
the
yeah,
World Cup so far. So I'll just give it to Morocco just for this game. Even Brahim Diaz has yet to show his abilities in the big stage. Morocco is
yeah.
slightly favorites for me in that one.
Yeah, and how do you feel of watching Abu Dhabi? His name is Abu Dhabi, right? The promising
Right, right.
midfield player who is there in Morocco, and he's been linked with a lot of transfers as well now. I think Bayern Munich and Man City were the recently interested ones. So yeah, how do you feel? Do you think the battle would be won by Morocco, or Frankie De Jong and co will be there to win it for Netherlands?
I mean, it's a tough one, but given the form of the strikers and
Yeah.
even in the defensive abilities, I just would edge it to Morocco given the momentum that they have been carrying throughout. Uh, I just feel that they might make it through the difficult game against the Dutch. But yeah, never
Hmm.
say never. Even Dutch have some amazing players, in Van Dijk, Reinders, and the remaining players. Frankie De Jong, again, as you mentioned, quality player, quality on the ball. Anyone can change the game, but I just feel that Morocco might make it through.
Nice, nice. I personally think Netherlands will sail through it, but let's see. It would be an interesting match for sure. So it's one definitely I would be staying up late. When is that match? It's at 6:30 a.m. Oh, I'll have to wake up early.
Yes.
So so yeah, that's one match I'll definitely be watching, irrespective of whatever the time is. And yeah, next up coming is Côte d'Ivoire with Norway. So this is a very interesting tie. For me personally, Ivory Coast, Côte d'Ivoire, they were the best African team in this tournament. with the way they held up against Germany. I think there was only 7, 8 minutes of bad football, or maybe 15 minutes of bad football. And that's the moment Germany capitalized on them, and that those 15 minutes really threw their chances to win the game. It was sort of a weird situation like how AC Milan versus Liverpool happened in Istanbul in 2007, where 12 minutes Liverpool played really well, and that helped them win the game eventually. So yeah, I have a lot of I have a lot of stake in this team. I think they're going to go through, even though Norway is very dangerous with their players. I mean, if Erling Haaland gets his day, if he's playing the way he has always been playing, then it's going to be tough. But I have a feeling Cote d'Ivoire will be getting through this.
I just have a slightly different opinion. Even though they have been playing good football, I just feel that consistently over a period of 90 minutes, it will be difficult against the quality of Martin Odegaard and Erling Haaland. It will be interesting though. I see this game probably going through extra time because I really don't know how it's going to pan up, but I just feel Norway could make it through. But it'll be interesting to watch one for sure.
Right? Yeah, yeah. And right after that match, we have France versus Sweden, the favorites to
I
win the
think
World Cup.
we don't have
All
to talk
star.
about it because we know the favorites. I
Yeah,
think
I don't
France
think
has
even
been doing.
Zlatan. Sorry.
No, I don't think even Zlatan Ibrahimovic would have said anything else.
Yeah, yeah. I think recently he mentioned that Sweden is up against France, so he was a little down after watching that. So yeah, let's see. I mean, I don't think I would be surprised if France को हरा देते तो. लेकिन देखते I mean, it's the World Cup. We have seen bigger upsets in the history of World Cup, and even in this particular World Cup. So you can never count it out. You know? Right after
True.
that, is it coming home this time? England versus DR Congo.
I mean, if DR Congo wins, it will be the shocker of the World Cup history. They have been doing well. Uh, Given the nation that is so small, they are outperforming the others. But England, again, they have the quality of Harry Kane that's been taking them through this tournament also, yet again. Even in 2026, all eyes will be on him. I see England making it through, jokes aside, because their defensive abilities are also top notch. Even though there is injury concerns with Reece James, but I feel the form of Bellingham and Harry Kane has been doing good for English football. So yeah, they should make it through for sure. 3-0 easy.
So, I am not so sure whether England will make it through that easily because in the group stage we saw that against teams which are sitting back and essentially parking the bus, they are not.
Hmm.
England is not able to decisively get a strong chance and actually capitalize on it. And in
Hmm.
against Ghana, we could see that Anthony Gordon and Noni Madueke couldn't get past the strong defensive line, but when Rashford and Saka played yesterday, there were a lot of chances created, and eventually they could capitalize on it. And there was obviously momentary brilliance from Jude Bellingham, which led to the goal, and also the assist to Harry Kane was through him. But that play which led to that second goal was really good, and that's the reason that, but it took its time, right? It took after one
Hmm.
hour of football, and since DR Congo will obviously be sitting back against England, I don't think it will be a very high scoring game, but 2-0 is what I'm expecting, 2-0 or 2-1 for England. I expect them to go through. Otherwise, तुषार की तो लग जाएगी भाई. आर्नोल्ड को रख दिया घर पे, फोर्डन को रख दिया, पामर को
A
रख
lot
दिया,
of
and
criticism.
उसके
Yeah,
बाद
he'll draw a lot
yeah,
of
yeah,
criticism.
it's going to be very difficult for him to explain his situation then. फिर next step उसके बाद we have Belgium Senegal. For me, I think Belgium will get through it. All I would be very surprised if Senegal, with the form they are in, if they manage to
Yeah.
get anything out of this.
Yeah, I agree with you. Trossard has been in good form. They need
Yeah.
more of Lukaku to come out again. He's a hit or a miss in all games. You're laughing, but it's true. So they are expecting more out of Lukaku. Trossard has been doing good, and
Hmm.
overall they look stronger as a team in comparison to Senegal. Senegal are over reliant on Sadio Mane, uh,
Hmm.
which was not the case when they were playing in Afcon. In Afcon,
Hmm.
they played as a team and they won that tournament controversially, of course. But yeah, Belgium to make it through for me.
Right.
And
So Yeah, I largely feel the same. There is there's a lot of dressing room issues in Senegal as well, similar to what France had to deal with in 2010. So yeah, with all the off-field issues leading to and coupled with the on-field performance, I really don't think Senegal is getting through, and I think it should be an easy win for Belgium later on. And yeah, after that, the next big game we are looking at is Spain versus Austria, and although I was surprised that Austria conceded 3 goals against Algeria a
Hmm.
few hours ago. I expect them to defend better against Spain, and or even Spain had the same issue that England did, where they couldn't, manage to get a goal against a team that is falling back and just sitting back and being compact. But I think in that game, Yamal wasn't there, Nico Williams wasn't there, and we Spain had a bad striker for most of the time in Ferran Torres, who could make the runs, who could get chances, but could never convert them. And even in the last game, he had, I think, hit the crossbar. So these are the issues
Right.
that Spain have. But I still think Spain will edge a good win here. I expect them to win 3-1 against Austria. What about you?
Yeah, I feel it's going to be one-sided for sure. I agree with you. I also feel that Lamine Yamal should start and play in an attacking position because that's his natural game. And
Hmm.
Oyarzabal was also one of the strikers that Spain had. He also scored in one of the games. He looks good. He has good position. His finish is perfect. I just feel that he'll complement Lamine Yamal very well up front.
Hmm.
And with the midfield that they have, with Pedri in there, Nico
Hmm.
Williams also being a part, I feel that they have still not played at their potential yet, but I feel in the knockouts they'll do very well.
Right. Yeah. And I also feel with the defensive structure at Spain, I mean, when they're defending, with Kukureya, and then we have Laporte and Subasi and other centre backs that they have, I don't expect them to concede. On top of that, they have Rodri in front of them. So I don't really expect them to concede. And most of the time, they would be having the lion's share of possession. So Austria would be largely relying on Ralf Ragnick's defensive tactics. But yeah, I don't think it's going to lead to anything. I expect Spain to win here. Next up, a lot of people would argue the GOAT would be carrying Portugal against Croatia. So, yeah, I mean, I am surprised they didn't win against Colombia to start with, but let's not
Yeah,
discuss that anymore. Uh,
no, it was
what are
terrible
your
to say
thoughts?
the
What
least.
do you think about this game?
I was just talking to you off camera that how complete a team Portugal looks on paper,
Yeah.
but the
Mm,
performances does not really translate the results that they are looking at. They should
mhm.
have won against Colombia, I feel, but not really a great game of football from them. And I feel if you leave aside the biasness and everything, Portugal have the right midfield and attack to win the World Cup, but it's just that their performances are bad. Bruno
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Fernandes, uh, João Neves, all of these players they need to support. I'm not saying that Ronaldo is going to go and score at every shot that he takes, but there is Gonzalo Ramos on the bench. He is a quality striker now. He's linked to AC Milan. That will be the biggest transfer in the history of AC Milan. So
Yeah, yeah.
there are players of the quality of Vitinha, João Neves who have won the Champions League and done so well for their clubs respectively. I
Mhm.
don't know. I mean, I'm trying to make sense out of it. They should see Croatia through. But yeah, if Croatia wins, it will be an upset in my terms at least, because
Mhm.
Croatia, I mean, they have done well in the World Cups that have been 2018, but I just feel they don't have that fire in them to make it through this round.
Right, right, right. Yeah. So I mean, Portugal midfield, I think, apart from like I mentioned earlier, right? If you take France out of the World Cup, I think it would be the best midfield of any tournament, of any teams in the tournament. And I don't, I honestly expected Portugal to do much better than they have. I genuinely thought they will win all their games against in the group stage. I thought they would be one of those teams, and it was very surprising to see that there was a lack of midfield cohesion between Fernandes, João Neves, and Vitinha. I don't understand how the João Neves Vitinha pivot wasn't working as well, considering they both play for the same club,
Hmm.
and they won the league, and they won the Champions League as well. So I don't. I didn't understand why that happened. I mean, yeah, of course there was less reliance on pressing compared to how PSG plays, but even then the cohesion should have been there. And I also don't understand why Sao isn't getting that many chances, because when he had when he had come off the bench in the first game, he was brilliant. He was actually creating a lot of chances. And uh, yeah, then in the second game we could see when Portugal creates chances, Ronaldo is scoring, and it's not a case that he's the problem, as a lot of memes and trolls and even opinions would say. And they think that Ronaldo should be benched, maybe Gonzalo Ramos should be taking the mantle, but I don't think that is the case. I think Ronaldo walks into at most teams, 80 to 90% of the teams in the tournament as a standalone striker itself. So it's not a case at all that Ronaldo is misfiring. I mean, you have to create chances for your striker to score. In the end, that has to be there, and you could see that individual brilliance, and that the reason why he's so coveted and he's such a legend against Uzbekistan. And people argue that he's not a team player and whatnot, but you could see against Uzbekistan how with that Nuno Mendes free kick, and in general there was a lot of tracking back, and there was a lot of layoffs from Ronaldo himself to other players to score, etc. So it's not a case that he's off the mark or he's not the player. I mean, of course, he's not the player that he was, but he's still
Hmm.
up there, and he's still in the goat debate, to say the least. So if I just have to say, if Portugal's midfield takes, this is a at least a 2-1 victory for Portugal.
Should be, yeah.
So yeah,
And I
yeah,
think
yeah.
another good game would be Australia taking on Egypt. It's not going to be very easy because Australia have been doing very well,
Mhm.
exceeding expectations for me, I would say. I did not expect them to play this good football.
Yeah.
Against Egypt, it will be a tough game, that's for sure. You expect Salah to do well from Egypt. But yeah, you tell me your thoughts. How do you see this game pan out?
For me, on paper, Egypt is a better team. You have
Yeah.
Trezeguet, you have Salah, you have Omar Marmoush, and your defense is much better than Australia. So for me, on paper, Egypt was always a better team, and I didn't expect them to be in the pickle of a situation that they are in right now. And मेरे हिसाब से तो जीतना चाहिए. Like they should be winning this game, but because of the performance and because the I could when I watched a couple of games, I could see that there's a similar Portugal issue, that there's a lack of cohesion on field, there's a lack of coordination on field, and I maybe Salah is not the player he used to be. So the Egypt cannot any longer depend on Salah as much as they used to Pele,
Hmm.
and that I feel they would be if they lose this game, they would be the reasons. It cannot be that Australia just completely outplayed them. Egypt just didn't stand up to their standards would be the reason, I think. And just because of that reason, I think Australia is going to win, because Australia has been a very good team in this tournament, and teams win the World Cup, not individuals. That's something we have seen almost every other year. I know Messi is an outlier, but even with Messi, the team play was really good. He had Di Maria, he had Martinez, he had uh,
Hmm.
a strong defense. He had other Martinez as well, like Dibu Martinez and all. So the team has to be there. With Egypt, I could not see that. So I think Australia will edge this. I think so.
That could be an upset for sure.
It
But
would be
yeah,
a great upset.
Argentina are going to take on Cape Verde. I think that's going to be really a good game to watch out for. I think the talk of the World Cup has been Cape Verde. I mean, so
Hmm.
many people on the net are talking about the team. I think
Yeah, yeah,
their population is only 5,30,000. I may be wrong,
yeah.
but it's very less. And for them to
Hmm.
perform at that international stage, they are doing really well.
Yeah,
Passionate fans, and to see them do that well, it's good for football overall. There are other
exactly.
nations out there who could draw inspiration from them, and
Yeah.
countries like India can learn and do something. I hope that they do. But yeah,
Uh,
I see Argentina winning for sure. I don't think there are any debates on that.
yeah, I mean, uh, if I think I don't think Argentina will have an issue getting through this round. I mean, I understand it's Cape Verde. They've had a stellar tournament, three draws, but and the second draw was amazing. It was 2-2, and against Uruguay, it's not something that we even thought would happen. So
Mm.
It's very interesting to see that, Cape Verde could do what they did. And considering the nation, honestly, I didn't even know Cape Verde as a country before this tournament. And I didn't watch the first game thinking, ah, ye to aaram se jeet jayenge. But then I was shocked, कि, अरे भाई ये क्या हो गया? So, but I think the fairy tale ends for them. This is the
Mm.
last, but it's an amazing feat nevertheless. Reaching round of 32 on your debut World Cup, getting through a group with giants, that's amazing. But I think it's Argentina all the way, for this round at least. So yeah.
We ignore your favorites, Karthik. It's fine, but yeah, we'll get to that once the round of 32 end. I feel there are going to be very interesting games and some upsets that will make a talking point for sure the next time
Mhm.
that we see each other and have a conversation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think there are going to be a lot of clash of the giants in the round 16, with
Yep,
possibilities of clash of giants or great upsets. And with the last game we have is Colombia and Ghana. I mean, I think it's a straightforward win for Colombia. I don't think Ghana has really
for
offered
sure.
much in this tournament. Yeah. All right. So that's it. Thank you, Rehan. Thank you for your time. And let's see you for the round of 16. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.